Right, we're back and it's time for step 21, which is the side rails, I believe, and attaching the front end to the wash chassis. So things are starting to take shape now. Right, so we've got the side rails and the chassis plate. So I believe they go on with the 10mm screws. So start off with those. See if the battery driver does its job. Yeah, it's getting a bit flat. So we need to put 3 of those in here, and then a long one, the 20mm one there through the battery brace. I'll do those and get back to you. Okay, so we've got those screwed on. Now it's time to attach the front of the car. So it's saying of the stock setup on the LD3 Dirt to run the oh no, the Dirt doesn't say actually. It's saying to run the 5mm spacer. So we'll run the kit setup. We might have to switch it back to the short wheelbase. Yeah, we'll give it a go. The kit setup to start with. And so we'll just screw that on with that shim. So I've put those 4 screws in, the front end's attached to the chassis now. Taking shape. Right, let's move on to the next step. It's 22, which is this one. So I'm starting to put the gearbox on the car. Okay. So this is the new idler gear and the new lay shaft. Got some bearings here too. So start off with, I think we insert some bearings into the idler gear. It's made of a new material. You can see it's different to a previous version, which was made of like a white nylon-y type material. They drop in pretty easily. So that couldn't have gone together much easier if it wanted to. Okay, so that's ready to go. A little bit lithium grease it says, so we'll go for that. They don't need a lot of lubrication. We'll put a little bit in there. Okay. Okay, moving on. Next one is 23. So it's been on the other half of the gearbox and the drive motor plate. So here we are, it's 23. It's all coming together pretty quickly now. Okay, so what we start off with is the other side of the gearbox goes on, let's see what screws we need. So we have these two here, and then a slightly longer one goes down the bottom. So I'll just nip those up. Okay, so this is the new D motor plate. It's a bit smaller. So what we need to do with this one is get the spur gear guard attached to it. So I'm assuming it goes on that way, and attach here like this. And what screws does it need? It looks like it needs these little fellas here with a 1.5 driver. Pop these ones in, and then we attach the motor plate to the gearbox. Now that's in one piece. And it's certainly coming together a bit quicker at the back of the car. Diffs all built up, shocks are built up, so yeah, just this transmission side of things, and then we'll get the rear wishbones on and the drive shafts. Okay, so that's screwed on, and that will sit on here. Drop the bearing in first, and then there's three screws which will go and hold the motor plate on. Alright, just tighten these up quickly. Last screw to put in is this little guy here, which goes in the corner of the gearbox. I'll just whip that in. Right, so that's been tightened up now, and all spins freely, and a little bit of end float, so that's all good. That's the gearbox complete. So let's move on to the next step. So we need step 24 to get the transmission, the spur gear slipper assembly on. Okay. So we've got these two slipper plates, spur gear, and all these bits here that should all pop together quite simply. So let's see what goes on first. I reckon we'll do the this side first. So we'll start off with we need the spur gear. No, we don't. We need this screw that runs in through here. And then slipper pad, and that runs into there. Flip it over, another slipper pad. Maybe we'll do the bearing. Kit Spurger is an 80 tooth. Seems to be some little plastic pieces on there. Maybe they need trimming off. I think they're just little bits of flashing. Yeah, just a tiny bit of plastic needed to be removed from them. Okay. Right, let's put this back together. We'll put the bearing on first this time. And the spur gear with a pad in it. locate that onto the bearing. Seems to be on there okay. And you have a slipper pad. And then the other slipper plate. So that's sort of, it's all quite loose at the moment. Then we have to slide this into position. Don't know if I've done this the easiest way or not. We'll give it a try, see if it goes in. Right, so I'm locking that. Maybe that isn't the easiest way of building it. I think I've put the yeah, I think I've put this around the wrong way. Maybe not. I just need to make sure how I built it. Okay, let's have a look. So that should go on here, but it kind of gets stuck in that position. Strange. Right, so I've took it apart and I've had a think, and I think it goes together easier if we put the slipper plate on the shaft here. It's a bit of a snug fit, so you have to play around with it until you get it just lined up, and then it goes on. So yeah, it's funny old thing. Anyhow, but yeah, got there eventually. So then we're going to want the bearing, which just sits over there. Then we want to go for a slipper pad. Put that down now. So now we've figured it out. It's all located, and then we'll pop the other slipper pad in, and then the top slipper plate. So spin that around until it finds the flats on the lay shaft. That's all good and it's happy in place, and then we can drop this long screw through, locate that into the little slots here, and that's all in position. So I think it will all tighten down and sort itself out. So we've got two of these washers, and then the spring and the nut for the slipper assembly. So should be pretty self-explanatory. The hardest bit was definitely getting that first slipper plate on. But yeah, that's definitely the way to do it on the D car rather than the might be slightly different on the normal LD3 or the M. So I'm kind of holding the end of the shaft and the slipper pads as best I can with one hand, and then tightening it down on the other side. It's got a bit of a wobble on it, but I think when we get it in the car we can then back off the screws and let the slipper seat itself properly. Could be one of the slipper plate isn't fully seated. But yep, that's all together. Mostly happy with it. Okay, so that is part 24 complete. It's saying to leave a 6mm gap on the end of the slipper shaft with threads. Oh, it's about 6mm in the ballpark. So it should be a decent start point. Alright, so step 25 now. So that's where we want to attach the gearbox and a rear hanger to the car. So 25 is this one. Okay, and this is the dirt hanger. Slightly smaller because of the gearbox is mounted slightly differently on the dirt car, so the rear hanger on the dirt has only got 2 pickup points. Okay, so let's get ready to put this on. So to start with, we want 2 C screws, which are the longer ones of these. So we've got some 12s, some 10s and some 8s. Okay, so we'll start off with the 12s, the long ones. Give these a little clean up like we normally do because they're going to be thread locked. I always like to use thread lock on the rear hanger, especially when they're only held on by 2 screws. Right, so I've cleaned those up. Let's get the chassis over. So that's going to sit on there like that. That's going to sit on here like that, and then put the screws through. What I'll do is I'll put 1 screw in first, just to hold it in place before I get the thread lock out. Give that a little check that's all happy and in place, and I'll quickly thread lock the 2 of those in. Won't take too long. And a few more screws and we'll get the gearbox on. Right, so a bit of thread lock on that one. Just about enough on there. Right, so that's the rear hanger on. Let's give those a little tighten. Right, let's just check I've put that in the right holes. And check the gearbox fits on there properly. Yeah, that sits on there nice. So the gearbox is held on by I made a mistake there. Those screws so those 12mm screws should be in those holes at the front of the gearbox, and these ones should be the 10s. So I'll quickly change those over and screw the gearbox on with the correct screws. Okay, so I'm just doing the final tighten on these screws. These are 8mm at the back, 10mm here, 10mm there, and then 12mm there. So it goes up in order. I'm just going through making sure I've tightened everything up properly. And that is the gearbox attached to the car. These are thread locked into the rear alley hanger. As you can see now, that's the whole of the gearbox assembly attached, all spinning freely. Lovely. So right, that's that step completed. So next up is 26, which is this bag here. I do like to run the aluminium one of these rear hangers, but I'll be running the kit plastic one to start off with.